Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is about a word we use very often in English, and we don't really think about what the word means, and that is the word it. Now we use this word a lot in lots of phrases and lots of situations, but a lot of the time it doesn't really mean anything on its own, and it's just part of a phrase. So in this video I'll explain most of the meanings, some logical and some illogical, and we'll see what we can find. So the first is the one that makes the most sense. This is the third person singular when talking about something. For example, have you seen my book? No, I haven't seen it. It here obviously refers to the word book. This isn't too complicated and is quite logical. But we also use the word it to talk about animals, which can be quite confusing. For example, did you see that elephant? It was massive. So it means the elephant here, even though elephants are either male or female. So we generally use it to talk about animals when either 1, we don't know the gender, or 2, it shows less importance if we use he or she. For example, we don't normally use it for pets because we value pets rather than random animals we see on the street. The next situation is quite logical. It's when we're talking about something you've already mentioned. For example, it doesn't make sense. It's amazing. Here it completely depends on what you've mentioned before, and it's just simply talking about what you've already mentioned. So the next situation is just a simple phrase we use just to ask a question, to turn any kind of phrase or any kind of sentence into a question. For example, that wasn't so bad, was it? It's amazing, isn't it? So we use is it or isn't it just to ask a question, really. It doesn't really mean anything. It's basically another way of saying, isn't that true? It's just a way of asking questions, and it doesn't really mean anything. So next is the situation which I really cannot explain and don't understand myself, and that is when we're talking about time and the weather. It is 7 o'clock. It was really cold outside. It has been raining all day. So I have no idea what it refers to in these sentences. I mean, it could refer to the time and the weather, but sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. So we can say the time is 7 o'clock, but it's weird to say the weather was cold outside or the weather has been raining all day. So therefore I have no idea what it means when talking about the weather. So the next situation is a bit complicated and it's quite weird when you think about it. This is called the anticipatory it. Now this is where we use it at the start of a sentence in place of the subject, which is at the end of the sentence. Here are some examples. Look at this sentence. Seeing you was good. You can say this, but it is a little strange. What we normally say is, it was good seeing you. This is just a standard phrase we use a lot, and it doesn't really make sense what it means. It's simply just in place of saying seeing you was good, we say it was good seeing you. It's just, I can't really explain why, it's just how we say things. So the next example is when talking about a situation or some kind of event that happened. It's strange how much they've changed. It's very interesting that this happened. Here the word it is used when talking about a situation or event that happened. We can't say this sentence without it. It sounds way too strange. For example, that this happened is strange. And this is similar to some other phrases we use to express opinions. I think it's funny that it took you so long. I'd consider it an honor. And now we have lots and lots of phrases, which generally the word it doesn't really make sense at all, and it's just simply a phrase. You memorize the phrase together, and it doesn't really have a meaning at all. Watch it. Be careful. Damn it, to show frustration. Take it easy, to relax. It's not worth it. Not good value. Yeah, I mean, try to understand what it is not worth it. That doesn't make sense at all. Using it twice. Hit it off when a relationship is going well. Pack it in. Stop doing something. He's at it again. He's doing something again. Break it down. To explain something clearly. Keep it up. To keep doing something. So here you just understand these as phrases and don't try to understand what it means because it doesn't have a meaning. And lastly, we have something that will be quite strange to some people depending on their native language, and that is how we talk about who did something. It was me who saw him. It was them who did it. In other words, this is like saying, I saw him, or I was the one who saw him, or they did it, or they were the ones who did it. What's really strange about this is that even when talking about more than one person, we still use it with a singular verb, which is like it was them. It's very weird. It's very strange how you can use it to refer to more than one person, and it's just simply just another phrase, honestly. It's just a phrase we use just to talk about who did something, and it doesn't really make too much sense. But if you try to make this plural, then it sounds probably even weirder. For example, they were them who did it. That's probably one of the weirdest sentences you could ever say. But that's all for this video. I hope this was interesting and you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.